Hey mom, so I was sitting there thinking of what gift I could buy you for Mother's Day, and I realized no, screw that. I'm just going to make this year special. So this is it. Buckle up and enjoy. Okay, so I've got a lot to say here. So I've taken some notes and I'm going to refer back to them. We might cut the video one or twice and piece it together because I do have a lot to say. So, from the very beginning of us, the amount that you and Dad sacrificed is unreal. I mean, scraping by in Detroit, raising five kids, and yet somehow managing to buy rental properties that still serve you to this day. And I know you and Dad might have differing opinions of how well they serve you, but now having two kids of my own, I try to imagine what it was like, and I just can't. One of my very first memories of you was when I was maybe 5 or 6 years old, and we were at the dental office, and I believe it was Corey that stole something. I don't remember what it was, but it was something minor from the dentist, and I remember, you calling the cops, and I don't remember. Apparently, I took the blame for it. I don't know why or remember those details, but I do remember being scared freaking shitless for years to come when it came to things like stealing. And I'm sure the rest of the kids were as well. So, it was a really clever parenting tactic, and I'll bet it was some fun. Um, Karate, man, I remember specifically at the Michigan State tournament. I got second place. I made it all the way to the final round, and then I lost to a girl, and it was heartbreaking. I remember thinking, "Oh my God, how could I get this far and lose to a girl?" I mean, I must have won 10 fights to get to that point. And I remember coming up to you afterwards, and you all you had to say was, "I'm just so proud of you," and it didn't matter at that point, right? Funny thing was, that girl went on to get, like, I think fourth in the nation or something like that. Basketball, Little League. I remember, I was decent, but I wasn't an all star, and you saying to me, just have fun with it, just have fun with it. I think to this day, that still sticks with me because, I like to shoot hoops every now and then, and when I do, it's one of the favorite things I like to do. And I watch NBA basketball like it's crazy. I really enjoy it. It's fun, and I'm sure that's in no small part to you, so thank you. Um, Baseball, oh my goodness. The all day long games that you and Dad, took us to. I mean, all day long we were there for hours and hours and hours at the park, and that was just, I bet that was just horrible. I remember one day in League when I struck out twice in a row, and I was so bummed. I was to the point. I was, my world had ended. I was ready to quit, like quit baseball altogether. And I went to you in the stands, and I remember you held me in your arms and you said, next time you'll hit a home run. And that just energized me. And you know what I did? It was a 3-run homer, actually. I'll never forget that. Music. Oh man, the amount that you and Dad had to do to support my music, it was just way above and beyond. None of the other kids you had were serious about music. And not only did it cost a pretty penny, I know it wasn't cheap, but you were always there. There were always these extra things, from 7 a.m. band practices to concerts, competitions, state competitions. And if you weren't there, you were legitimately working. You just were always there. And that means so much to me to this day. I mean, just through everything, you were always there. Swimming and diving. Oh man, that was really intense as well. Just so many early morning, swim practices, after school, the meets where it was like a boiler room in there. It was just so freaking hot, and you sitting there for probably the most boring sport there is to watch, swimming, and really just being super supportive. And one thing really stands out to me is my junior year of high school when well, let me just back up and say my sophomore year. There was a guy that was super, super cocky, just arrogant prick that ended up winning it all my sophomore year. And there was a senior at the time who was he was neck and neck with him and ended up getting second place, but couldn't, just topple him. And this guy was just so, so arrogant. My junior year, I ended up beating him. I won first place. And that was to this day still one of my most proud moments. But the thing that really stuck out is that, there was such a special moment when I sat on that, the starting block, cheering, I got first place, holding out my hand, yay, like I did it. Like I'd worked all year for that, and I did it. And I remember going to you in the stands and, all you had to say was just, I'm so proud of you. And that made it so much more powerful than anything else. Just hearing those words from you. Speaking of diving, some of the medical things, when I had my mishap in diving and went home early and you had worked tirelessly for a couple hours digging into what I might have had, and ultimately woke me up in bed, saying we're going to the hospital. That might have saved my life. Some other mother may not have known that. It was amazing having a nurse around, and I thank you so much for that. I remember when I had a boil on my butt, and it got really serious actually, and I'll leave out some of the details, but I'm sure you can remember that we had a really scary situation there for a minute where I thought I might die, and then you kind of saved the day, and just those things, they're really special. College. I remember when, my very first day of school, when you and Dad dropped me off, and we unloaded all our stuff, and it was time for you to go. And that was hard for you. It was hard for him too. It was definitely hard for me, seeing your boy grow up, go away. And that was another one of those special moments where, you hugged me, and in my ear you just whispered, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And that was special. That was really special. I also remember when I came home from college and went to a party at Kurt's place. And I don't know what happened. I had drank some. I'd smoked a little weed. But I didn't take anything crazy, or none of it was excessive, and, I passed out on the porch. I woke up with, Dad screaming at me, are you, Aaron, wake up, are you there? And that alone freaked me out, and just seeing the look on his face, he was freaked out. I was really scared. I had no idea what happened, and Dad took me home, and just sitting there on the couch next to you, that calmed me. Just knowing I was there with you, that calmed me. There was also Costa Rica. When I went to Costa Rica on my own for 6 weeks, and that was obviously a really scary time for you, and Dad, of course. But ultimately, when I was leaving, you just, again, held me in your arms, just, be careful, be safe, and that just, it left everything on such a good note, that I was loved, that, I had someone watching over me, and that really, again, it was special. And I really remember when I was, I was growing up, starting to become an adult, early adult times. And I just had so many struggles, so many things that happened. Life got in my way quite a few times. It was rough. And you were always there, always supportive, always pushing me forward, encouraging. It's gonna get better. Hang in there. Proud of you. All those things. That is the thing that really just made a difference for me through those times. Was you being there for me. Boy, I'll never forget when you got in that car accident and we're on the side of the road. And I heard the news that you were in a car wreck, and I was so scared. I thought I might lose you there. And I remember pushing someone, like literally physically pushing someone who was there in front of you, because I could see you were just shaking and so scared. And it was a really special moment when I was there for you, when I was able to comfort you. That meant something. Anna's accident, I thought I was going to lose her. And I remember talking to you on the phone, and that really helped get me through it. Once again, you were there for me. That really, really helped. I remember when I really, really hurt you, when Anna and I announced that we were married, and you were like, what the hell? And just how much that hurt you. And that hurt me. But it just showed the love that you felt betrayed. And, I know that you probably will never forgive us for that, but we did it because we, really didn't want to hurt you. That's why we originally did it, was because we were married at that time for the wrong reason, and we didn't want you to, hate me and Anna. And so, silly kids. I don't know what else to say about that. But either way, you supported us and supported Anna, and thank you. Again, when I moved to Austin, you were just so proud. Just again, saying I'm so proud of you. I remember that day so clearly. I'll never forget that stuff. And then when we were there to tell you that Anna's pregnant, announcing that was huge, and it wouldn't have been nowhere near as special without you, for sure. And seeing, you having grandkids and holding on to my kids, and knowing what I've become, getting this new position. Last year, made almost $200,000. I own 2 houses. Have 2 kids. One of them being a rental, house. And I've done quite well. I've done quite well. I've had a lot of struggles, and getting promoted to director. A lot of amazing things going on in our life, and in no small part to you. In no small part to you. So I just want to say thank you, Mom, from the bottom of my heart. I love you. Happy Mother's Day.